and welcome back to Mads World. I'm your host Mads, and I hope you've been enjoying the show so far. If you'd like to support the show and keep it coming every week, remember to subscribe, rate and review the podcast on your favourite platform. If you'd like to financially support the podcast, you can do so by clicking the link in the episode description that says support Mads World for the price of a coffee. This week, I'm joined by the lovely Dan Morris again. You may remember Dan all the way back from episode 1. That's right, we're circling back to the Mads World debut. I was so nervous to release this podcast. I did not know what anyone was going to think. I didn't know if it was going to flop. And I was still on the shaky baby deer legs of sobriety. So as of yesterday, I'm 6 months sober. So that is stunning. And I'm so glad I did make the podcast because I get to connect with all of you lovely people every single week. So please keep your messages coming, keep your submissions coming, because you make Mads World podcast what it is. Up next, you'll hear my chat with Dan all about the secret identities of people we've been with before, alongside your best submissions of when you guys have dated or slept with someone and found out who they really were after the fact. Hello, Dan.
Hello. How are you doing?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm happy to be back, Started from episode 1 and now I'm here.
I can't believe we have released 19 episodes of Mads World. This is the 19th ep, and you circle all the way back to episode 1. So if anyone listening out there wants to know a bit more about Dan, you can go back and listen to episode 1, a series of unfortunate events, so that you can learn a bit more about the background of Dan. But I thought we should do another speed date round, which is what I've been doing, just to give viewers a bit more of an update on how it's going. So our first question of the speed date round is, what would you back yourself in a competition for?
So I back myself in a drag competition. I'm a very tall person. I have very, very long legs. And also I can do this kind of dance move where it's not a dance move, but I can just bend myself backwards without falling on the floor and peek my head backwards so I can sing, if that makes sense.
Stunning. Is this the debut of Lola Spitz?
This would be the debut of Lola Spitz, but it's definitely a work in progress, because there is no way I am coming out of this house looking busted.
All right, well, maybe Lola Spitz can have her proper debut on an episode all dedicated to your drag secret identity, which is actually a really fitting theme for this. We should have done Lola Spitz on this ep because it's it's pretty fitting with the theme of secret identities. Yeah, no, that is true. That is very true. So what's your most recent Google search?
Okay, so my most recent Google search was actually Natasha Bedingfield Unwritten. I cannot get the song out of my head, and it's just, whenever she goes, release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin.
I feel like it's on TikToks or something at the moment, and that's where it's come from.
Yeah, I think that is. I do use TikTok a lot, and I just can't stop singing it, and I've been singing it all weekend.
Honestly, TikTok is ruining my life. I went to bed last night at 10, and then somehow was on TikTok for 2 hours, watching all kinds of crap. It wasn't even good content. At least if I was watching YouTubes, I might learn something, but I was literally just watching people run around the room. It was just not fine. I'm gonna have to delete it. I think it's not a nice thing.
Yeah, it's so weird though. You just literally on it for I'll just go on it for 10 minutes, and next thing you know, it's 1 o'clock, and you're just oh my god.
And it's all just cringe. I just find myself cringing and sending my friends the most cringe things, and they're like, "Thanks for cursing my inbox with this."
I know. I really question sometimes, do anybody else watch my links that I send them, or they just kind of going along with it because they don't want to go into a little TikTok pit hole?
Yeah, sometimes people will send me a link and I'm just like, ha 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 ha, don't even click it. Okay, our next question is, what is your pet peeve?
My pet peeve definitely has to, I don't really think about this, but I think my pet peeve has to be slow walkers. You know me very well that I'm very fast, and whenever you ask me to slow down, it is honestly the most difficult thing ever.
I think your stride is genuinely 2 meters. So when you step, you're walking 2 meters. It takes me about 10 steps for your 1 step. You're so tall.
Literally, yeah, that's true. I cut my time down by half whenever I'm going anywhere, because I'm just it's fine. I'm just getting it super quick because my long legs.
I know. I feel like a little chihuahua running alongside you every time we hang out.
What, a Chihuahua and a Great Dane?
Exactly, Chihuahua and a Great Dane. Do you ever wonder how they would shag if they shagged and did a crossbreed of a Chihuahua and a Great Dane?
I'm gonna say that has definitely never crossed my mind. I feel like the Chihuahua would break.
Yeah, I know the Chihuahua would be the Chihuahua would be the boy.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't grow a Great Dane inside a Chihuahua. I would die.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, enough of that. So this week we are chatting all about the secret identities of people we have been with before, either slept with or gone on a date with or gotten to know, alongside everyone's listening's best submissions. So let's go through our stories first, and then we can read some of the submissions that we've had through Instagram. So you told me a really great story about when you were in uni and a guy that you met. So do you want to kick it off and tell your story?
So basically, I was at uni. I was single, but also I was kind of casually seeing someone at the time. So I just come out of something quite serious. So it was just lighthearted fun between us. And I was just out in a club one night, and I just left the club to go home. And on the way home, I was like, this guy was like kind of with me. Like we kind of just met randomly and just started walking the same way. And then we were just talking, and like he showed a real interest in like me being gay and like kind of like my gay lifestyle, I would say, maybe like just me being gay. And he was just asking me all these questions, and I just thought, oh, this is kind of refreshing. Somebody actually, cis who actually wants to learn more and like, asking real questions. But then he like, some of it got really like, I don't know, just like asking like, oh, what was it like to kiss your first boy and things like that. So as this is happening, I'm walking back to mine, and he's like coming the same way. And then I get to my house, and then I like start walking to the door, and he starts following me, and I was like, where do you live? And he's like, oh, just over that way. And I was like, okay, why? Okay, what's up? What's going on? And as I was going to the door, he just kept following me, and I was like, okay, are you coming in then? He's like, yeah, if that's okay with you. And I was like, right, okay. So he comes in, we're just in my room, and basically I was confused, but I was like, I'm just going to go along with it. One thing led to another, and then, it happened.
Yeah.
And then after it, as he was getting ready to leave, he was just like, I'm not gay. Like, I'm not gay. And I was like, yeah, no, that's fine. It's fine. He's like, don't tell anyone. And I was like, no, fine. I'm not going to tell anyone. I was like, I don't even know you. So I think you're okay. So then he leaves, and then I'm just basically just about to go to sleep. And then I just thought, I haven't heard from this guy that I was seeing like all day. So I was a bit like, what's going on? So then I phoned him texted him, and nothing answered. Then I phoned him, and then these girls answered, and I was just like, what? And then they were like saying how they've got his phone, and then they like picked it up in the club. And I was like, okay, maybe I should go get this. And she's like, can you come pick it up? So then they were at this their house party. And they were like, yeah, just come. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to get up and go to this house party. And I get there, and then they answer the door, and they're like, these like girls going excitable and wild, really drunk. So I thought, do you know what? I'm up. I may as well just join this party. So then we're just like getting drunk together. Never met them in my entire life. And then weird thing is, as well, I was looking for a new place at the time where I was. And funnily enough, they had a spare room, and then they were just like, oh my god, like, let's show you around. Oh my god, this would be so great. Like, me thinking, this is too good to be true. This is so weird. How has this happened? So then they showed me the room, and I was like, oh my god, I love it. I was like, this is so great. I just love this house. I was like, oh my god. And then they were just like, oh, she'd be like, when will you be moving? I was like, as soon as possible. And then I'm just like sat down just drinking some more, and they were like, oh, the boys are taking ages. And I was like, oh, there's more people coming. They're like, yeah, the boys coming. And I was like, okay, cool, party, woo.
Yeah.
And so then the door goes, and they were like, oh my god, that must be the boys. Bearing in mind, some of these boys are like the girls' boyfriends.
Yeah.
So then in comes the boys, and the last boy to come in is literally the guy I had just slept with.
No.
So like,
oh my god.
I literally just sat there. My face dropped. His face dropped.
Oh my god.
I mean, he obviously was thinking I'd be the last person to see me. Also, he left me at my house, and I was about to go to bed. So he literally was like a bit shocked, and then I didn't know what to do. So I was like, just act normal. It's fine.
Oh my
and then
god.
I realized one of the girls was his girlfriend. So I was like, oh my god, this is even worse.
Oh my god, so the person you've just agreed to move in with is the person you've just slept with's girlfriend, and she doesn't know that he's potentially gay or bisexual. Oh my god.
Basically, yeah.
Men are scumbags, aren't they?
Oh no, literally scumbags. But like that, I mean, that was taking me a while to process that. So then he like sits near me because like I started like introducing myself to the rest of the boys, and then I was like kind of nervous to like get to him, and I just sat down, and then he like sat next to me, and he was just like, what are you doing here?" And I was like, I came to pick up a friend's phone."
Oh my
Shit.
God.
And like there I am, and I was like, "Oh, this is too weird and uncomfortable." So I just literally had to like get up and just go because I was like, "This is just."
Yeah, get out of there.
Yeah, and then the girls was like, oh my god, I can't wait for you, like, for us to move in together. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I had to like basically break it to them that I wasn't moving in. And then they were
Oh.
just like, but why? And I was like, I just found somewhere else with a friend, sorry.
Oh my God, what a story. And like, you can't believe that all of this happened in one night. It's like, it's just wild.
No, I know. Like, fair enough if I bumped into him like somewhere else like another night, but the fact that he was on the same night.
Yeah, that's insane. Well, this reminds me of another story that I have. So before we get into everyone's submissions, I wanted to tell a story of when I first moved to London. So I'd been in a relationship for probably 4 or 5 years and just moved over here. I'd never been on like dates with randoms. I'd never really been on Tinder, anything like that, because I'd been in a relationship pretty much since high school. And my first date was with this guy. I won't say his name, but he's the bass player in a band called To Kill a King. And I mean, you can Google it if you want to guess. But yeah, they're like a pretty well-known English band and stuff. And we went on a date. I was so nervous. And Sam, my housemate at the time, who's also my friend, she's been on the podcast, she was like, it's great. You're going to have fun. You're just going to get drunk, like make a new friend. Dates are awesome and stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like this. Obviously, I loved it because it was just, yeah, all those things and more. And we were walking along the canal and, drinking loads of red wine. We purposely chose the red wine that had like an Australian animal on it or something. And ended up like going on a bit of a pub crawl and hanging out. And then we went back to his and like I met his housemates and stuff, and he was showing me all of his fan mail and all his fan art, and like it was really nice actually. We like sort of, I felt like, I don't know if this was me being naive at the time because I'd never been on a date. I was like, oh, we've got a real connection. Like, I feel like this is going to go somewhere. Obviously it didn't. But anyway, so yeah, we slept together and the next morning I woke up and went down to the kitchen, and there's like a couple of his other bandmates and stuff in the kitchen, like making toast. And obviously I looked like a state because we were so hungover and everything. And then he ended up ghosting me, and I went to Croatia and it sort of just fizzled out and stuff. And I was just absolutely gutted that he'd ghosted me. And maybe a year or two later, I went on another Tinder date with a guitarist. And so you'll learn this about me on the podcast. I absolutely love a musician. I think I've said this before. They're just my type. There's something about the romance of it all, and like the fact that they're deep, like soft boys or something, and they like artistic and everything. But yeah, I usually go for musicians. So it wasn't that strange. We went on a really nice date. I can't remember where it was, but it was along a canal again somewhere, having beers at like a brewery and stuff. And yeah, we ended up, I think we went on a couple of dates, and then he ended up coming back to mine and we slept together and stuff. And then afterwards I was like, oh, put on some music from your band. Like if it's on Spotify, I'd really want to hear it. And he's like, yeah, sure. We're called To Kill a King. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, do you live with other members of your band? And he was like, yeah, we all live together in Golders Green. And I was like, no. And he's like, what? I'm like, I've met you before. He was like, what? I'm like, literally a year ago, I slept with the bass player in your band and I came down and like made toast in your kitchen. And he was like, oh my God, I remember you. I was like, yes, what the hell? And he's like, oh my God, I'm never telling him. And so now I feel like I have to collect them all like Pokemon cards. I think there's like 3 more in the band. I've got a boyfriend, so it's not going to happen. But earlier in the year, I was like, yes, I've got to collect them all.
I was gonna say that it just goes to show how small London can be sometimes. Like, it's such a large city, but like things like that, you're just like, what the hell?
I know, honestly, and also in like the musician community. So I have another story, which is another musician story naturally. So after Glastonbury, I uploaded an Instagram story of Foals and tagged Yanis from Foals in it. And then we ended up like
Oh my
talking a little
God.
bit and just, getting to know each other and stuff like that, like just on Instagram. And then I was at this pub in Columbia Road called the Royal Oak, and it's like notorious
God,
for
yeah.
all rock stars and stuff going there. And I was running around the pub like trying to find my friend's phone or handbag or something, and then ended up running into him and then sat down for a beer, and he was with this guy with glasses, and I was like, who's this nerd? Like, I don't even know who this guy is. I just want to talk to Yanis from Foals. And then afterwards, we left and everything. And he messaged me later on and was like, oh, sorry, I was so nervous. It was my first time hanging out with Jamie T.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
Oh
who's
shit.
this nerd? It's fucking Jamie T. So that's another case of secret identities where I met someone and I didn't even know who they were at the time.
Yeah, I was so surprised when you told me that.
I know, especially because I actually like Jamie T as well. I just have no idea what he looks like, but apparently he looks like a fucking nerd. So don't at me, Jamie T, if you ever listen to this podcast. But yeah, he just looked like a sweet nerd. But anyway, I digress. So I thought we could now read out some of the best submissions that we had through @madsworld.mp3 on Instagram. So yeah, these are all of your stories of secret identities of people that you've found out who they are after you've shagged or been on a date or whatever. So here's our first one.
In Barcelona, my friend and I slept with 2 AFL footy players who both had girlfriends and only found out who they were when we followed them on Instagram the next day and they blocked us in return. Classy.
I'm honestly not surprised.
I mean, yeah, same. I'm not surprised. Although I had to really think that when you said AFL, I'm not much of a sports guy. But when I was like,
oh, Australian Football League. Anyone who's English listening, it's kind of like the equivalent of the Premier League in Australia. It's like whatever. It's just the sport that everyone follows. But I remember this person messaged me and was like, do you know this footy player? So I won't say his name, but he sounds like a type of alcohol. So use that how you will. But she was like, do you know this footy player from Australia? And I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, he just blocked me on Instagram. I just slept with him and apparently he has a girlfriend. And I was like, honestly, not shocked by this information.
not shocked at all. I mean, it's the same in like England, well, in the UK. No, I mean, no offense to anyone who does play sport, but, they do have a bad reputation for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, not shocked. Here's the next one.
It turns out a guy I slept with was a teacher at my school when I went there.
That is illegal.
I mean, that... Did you ever have any like teachers that you really fancied? I mean, I'm not saying anyone does do it, but after you left school,
I did. There was hot
back?
teachers, of course. Always the sport teachers that like all the girls were obsessed with and stuff. But
Always.
I think someone at our school, one of the sports teachers got sacked because they ended up getting with this student. Like, you're just not allowed to do that. And at Mads World, we don't condone getting with your teachers.
We don't condone it. No, we don't.
Oh
we don't.
My God. Okay, here's the next one.
In Brazil, I slept with an escort who's normally £50 and only found out after, but he told me I didn't have to pay.
I mean, that's a compliment,
That is a compliment.
Like, this person was just like, I'm not going to charge you.
Yeah, and it's a great case of separating work and play. So this person clearly knows when she wants to work or when he wants to work and when he doesn't want to work. So it's like, I think play on, especially in this age where we're all working from home and sometimes the lines are blurred between your regular life and your work life. This person's got it down.
Yeah, this person definitely does.
An icon. Here's the next one.
I found out a guy I slept with was my boss's son.
The leverage.
What?
The leverage you would have after this.
Literally. I mean, I want a pay rise.
Yeah, I want a pay rise, or you could like go through the sun and be like, I think this person at your work's a really good worker, like to his dad. And his dad would be like, how do you even know that? Like, I just met her one time. I think she's, a really great person. Like, you could get him in his ear like a little bird.
Imagine coming over there for like a family dinner. Oh, this is my girlfriend.
Yeah, that is a good case of not separating work and play. So I think we can.
Yeah,
that is a boundary
definitely.
you should never cross. Okay, here's the next one. So we actually had 2 submissions of this next one, the same thing, but yeah, we've just merged them. So
I slept with a porn star and only found out they were a porn star afterwards.
I mean, porn stars like to go out and have sex and do everything too, but yeah, I guess this is another case of separating work and play that we love to see.
Also, I'm really intrigued how they found out. Were they just like online one day, just thought, you know, and then just came across the porn star that they literally had sex with? Like, is that how you come across it?
Yeah, or if you were in the porno that you were watching. Oh, they filmed it.
Imagine.
So here's the next one.
I found out a colleague I slept with was engaged after we were at the pub together. He told me we should book a hotel room and that would be really fun. And then we slept together, and then I found out later that he was engaged.
So this actually just breaks my heart. That's scum.
Also, this is another one where I'm not really surprised. Like, I've heard so many stories like this in like London.
Yeah, I'm not even surprised about this one either. Like the amount of stories, especially in media and marketing, which is our field, I feel like it's just rampant, which breaks my heart, but it's just a sad fact of life. I mean, try and be better. People of Mads World, try and be better out there in the world. Okay, here's our next one.
I found out he was married.
So, yeah, this is on the same vein. Just disappointing, and you hate to see it. But this also happened to me, like, in the break between lockdowns last year. I went to a hotel, like, to party with a few mates and that kind of thing at the Mandrake, which is, like, a really bougie hotel, and ended up, like, kissing this guy and stuff, and we were really getting on well and that. He was a bit older, probably, like, 35 or something. And then he's like, I can't do this. I'm married. I feel really bad. And then goes to kiss me again. And I was like, this isn't hot for me. Like, that's just disgusting. Like, you're a piece of shit. And I was like, no, see ya.
But it's always in London.
Yeah, it is always in London. I feel like maybe there's more temptation here because there's more people here. I don't know what that's about, but it is always in London. You never hear about it up north, but maybe they just, I don't know, don't have as much people, don't have as many people to cheat with.
I mean, you don't really, I mean, it does happen in Wales, but like, I mean, where I'm from, it doesn't really happen. I mean, probably like a farmer or something, maybe, yeah.
A farmer? What? Who's he cheating with? His sheep? The animals?
No, because no, you can't say that because that makes Welsh people like we're sheep shaggers.
Oh, sorry. Okay, here's the next one.
My friend set me up with her cousin at her beach house and told me the day after that she brings a different friend for him to get with every time they go away to the beach.
No!
Wait, what?
Yeah, so
wait, she's basically pimping him out.
She's just pimping him out to all of her friends because I'm assuming he's good looking, because otherwise there would be a low success rate there from all of her mates. But what the actual fuck? That's disgusting. Oh.
Can you imagine just finding out from your friend that you got pimped out to their cousin?
I mean, maybe he's in on it. Maybe he just loves it. Like all the city girls coming and staying. He's probably just one of those lonely beach boys that's just got, nothing but sheep around him. He doesn't want to perpetuate the stereotype of sheep shaggers in Wales, and he probably lives at a nice Welsh beach. Here's the last one.
My best mate slept with a girl after a party. It turns out she was the musician Little Boots.
So I had to Google who Little Boots is because this person also told me that one time when he was doing it with his girlfriend at their parents' house, and she was using a butt plug, and the butt plug had it had no end on it or something, so it just got sucked up inside her.
Oh my
butt.
God.
And she had to squat on the floor of his childhood bedroom and practically poo it out.
Oh my God. Oh, not like this. Not like this.
That was a totally irrelevant story, but I just had to let the people know.
I think everyone will appreciate that.
Yeah, it's too funny. But yeah, anyway, he slept with the musician Little Boots. He said she was a ripper shag, but yeah, she's like a DJ and singer and stuff, so that's quite cool. I feel like we've done a lot of celeb gossip on this podcast.
I feel like we have, yeah.
It's just the name-dropping podcast, but we love to see it. So That's all of our submissions. So thank you out there, everyone, for submitting those wonderful but tragic and sad stories. And thank you, Dan, for joining the show for another week. It's been 19 weeks since we joined, and I'm 6 months sober as of yesterday. So that's amazing news as well. Yeah. 19 weeks ago, I was 19 weeks less sober.
That was fabulous. That is great news.
I know. Really great news. So yeah, we love to see it. Thank you for coming back, Dan. You've been amazing as always.
No worries. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Love you lots. Bye. I hope you enjoyed my chat with Dan. Please let me know on my Instagram. It's at madsworld.mp3 or on my website, madsworld.co, if you have any funny or interesting stories of your own to share. Love and elbow taps. Peace.